everybody. My name is Federica Maietti, and within the Artemis project, I'm mainly involved in outreach, training, and dissemination activities. In this presentation, I'm going to introduce some general concepts related to the relevance of heritage digitization in risk management and prevention, in simulations, in restoration, and in conservation processes, providing an overview of some essential background knowledge in application of digital tools for cultural heritage. The main contents and topics that will be faced in this short presentation are related to the need to highlight the risks and critical issues that currently are affecting cultural heritage, providing moreover a short framework of reference documents, guidelines, and policies related to heritage at risk and best practices. Some current needs will be summarized in order to trace a short state-of-the-art in terms of the use of digital technologies for risk management, in order to conclude by presenting very briefly how Artemis is addressing the risks to which heritage is exposed through the reactive heritage digital twin concept in order to face monitoring, management, simulation, and evaluation issues and challenges. The main part of this presentation is related to heritage in emergency scenarios. We can say today that the heritage is more and more in a state of emergency, as it's possible to understand from this statement from one of the reference documents from the European Commission that is entitled Safeguarding Cultural Heritage from Natural and Man-Made Disasters. Today, there are several hazards that are affecting heritage, not only related to man-made actions, but more and more related to natural hazards, climate change, extreme events that are posing heritage at risk of losing not only the material consistency of tangible assets, but also cultural, historic, and artistic values related to our cultural heritage assets. These challenges are becoming more and more pressing because the increasing occurrence of disasters such as floods, earthquakes, fires, and pollution are more and more frequent, causing irreversible damages to cultural heritage sites and historical documents, objects, and contents of heritage buildings. And I think it's relevant to highlight that in this short statement that is from the European Commission Horizon 2020 Framework Program, in addition to this sort of alert related to heritage at risk, it is highlighted how digital technology can help and support in preserving knowledge of threatened heritage artifacts. Of course, in this framework, several institutions and organizations are working in the direction to face the huge need to support heritage, preventing damages from natural hazards and disasters. In this case, we can mention the Sendai framework for disasters risk reduction 2015-2030. That is one of the main reference in this, let's say, universe of documents, actions, and supporting policies. It's very interesting to understand how this framework, this Sendai framework, starts from a very, very topical concept that is understanding risk. So we can manage the way to support and to respond to disasters or to damages to cultural heritage just if we are really aware of what kind of risk can affect our assets in order to create the best process for conservation and in order to create the best tailored actions in order to support heritage at risk. In this framework of institutions and organizational bodies that are working in the direction of supporting heritage conservation, there are several reference documents, several reports, and several guidelines. Here you can see just some example of these reference documents by the cover pages of these documents. I think it's very interesting to understand how this kind of reference policies and documents are working on several aspects related to damages and to heritage at risk, starting from reports that can create a sort of state of the art in analyzing what is happening in different parts of the world in order to have a sort of overall picture of what is happening to our cultural heritage today due to these frequent occurrence disasters and climate change impacts. Other guidelines and documents are related to specific risk, for instance, fire risk. So we have management guides also to approach specific possible damages. And other reports are working in the direction to understand, in addition to damages to physical assets, what is happening in the world of heritage in these climate change events, for instance, in tourism or other actions and other areas related to cultural heritage. Other documents are related to comparative analysis in order to understand how to safeguard cultural heritage and how to manage risk in different countries. And other reports summarize and list collecting the main reference projects funded by the European Commission, projects that was aimed to work in innovation for a more resilient cultural heritage. These reports, of course, are just examples. As you can see, there are a lot of state-of-the-art references to be checked in order to understand all the different issues related to these possible damages. The main is one, understand how to manage disaster risks, understanding what to do in order to use at our best all the opportunities that today are available in this direction. In addition to the reference reports that are very easy to be retrieved by online open access sources, here you can see an additional list of some possible reference documents from ICOMOS, from UNESCO, and from the European Commission, able to create this universe of knowledge in order to understand what is going on in terms of climate change reduction and in the assessment of the condition of cultural heritage exposed to different kinds of risks. In this general framework, one of the main questions is how digital technology can support risk prevention and risk mitigation. It's a matter of fact that the increasing innovations in heritage digital tools can be an effective support in order to mitigate, in order to create support actions for cultural heritage. What is really relevant is that there is a urgent need to make the most of digital technologies to record, document, and preserve European cultural heritage, as it's stated in the Declaration for Cooperation on Advancing Digitization of Cultural Heritage that was drafted and signed by 27 European states in 2019 in Brussels. This Declaration for Cooperation on Advancing Digitization of Cultural Heritage poses several questions, challenges, and issues related to the best use to do of 3D technologies and digital models. I think that it's interesting to understand that, of course, it's not possible to consider digital technologies just to document cultural heritage, even if, of course, the knowledge base and the starting point for each actions of conservation are related to the survey procedures and to the documentation of geometrics, features, and all the characteristics related to cultural heritage. But the documentation is just a starting point, while we have now a lot of innovations in the field of technologies in order to understand how to use data retrieved from these data capturing technologies. Coming back again to the Sendai framework, the European Commission published an action plan related to this framework, calling for a more systematic disaster risk informed approach in European policies. And among the priorities traced by the European Commission in this action plan, it's relevant to highlight that the first point is related once again to understanding disaster risks. So just being aware of what is happening, we can of course enhance possible actions. And mainly, the second priority is related to the strengthening of disaster risk governance to manage risks, mainly thanks to documentation, also by using IT tools, as it's stated in this action plan, such as digitization or archival records and on-site laser scanning. Another point is related to the need for an easy access to required information and, of course, to the users and stakeholder engagement. Under this priority 2 set by the European Commission, one of the main points is that documentation is highlighted, digital technologies are mentioned, on-site laser scanning is underlined. But of course, this is just a very summarized, of course, vision of what is needed in order to accomplish the missions of the Sendai framework, because we know very well that today digitization environment and opportunities are not limited to the data capturing and to the laser scanning on-site technologies, but are further developed in the direction of do the best of the data processing post documentation, even if once again the survey and documentation are the first essential step to safeguard cultural heritage. So in this really complex framework, we have a lot of emerging technologies in addition to the digitization tools. We can mention big data, artificial intelligence, extended reality, mixed reality, augmented reality to further process and use digital cultural heritage. So in the extended document of the Declaration for Cooperation on Advancing Digitization of Cultural Heritage, this aspect is really highlighted in order to understand what to do with this capture data, what to do thanks to the technologies today available. The interactive technologies and the need for virtual and augmented reality applications are at the forefront of the innovation in order to create also the baseline for simulation in order to test specific actions on cultural heritage. The state of the art in this framework is of course very complex. It's quite difficult to summarize in a few lines this universe of knowledge that it's evolving day by day very rapidly. But it's possible to highlight that some of this direction of these research avenues in order to meet the needs of heritage at risk through digital innovation can be summarized in some common lines, let's say. So there are several recent actions, initiatives, funded projects that are demonstrating how digital application can be really used in an increasingly targeted way to support heritage in risk condition. Of course, this common direction are stressing some specific paths that are related to the creation of supporting decision tools to prevent and mitigate impacts of disaster on heritage sites, and to develop data-driven knowledge systems and ICT platforms in order to collect and integrate different kinds of information that are possible to retrieve according to different disciplines and different areas. Another issue that is very common is related to the need to promote an educational action in order to be aware about climate resilience for built heritage. And last but not least, the need for the creation of frameworks for public bodies and local authorities and institutions in order to collect data, providing these actors and stakeholders with tailored disaster risk reduction strategies. So, in this short summary of the state of the art in digital innovation, and also thanks to the diagrams, to the schema that you can see here, it's possible to understand how the collection of information related to possible risk are related to the need of the documentation of cultural heritage, not only through survey, but also retrieving different data from archival documentation, historical resources, but also from Internet of Things sensors. At the center, we have the monument, the site, the heritage object. The needs are different. We need to analyze, to check, to control, to make a diagnosis, to monitor it in order to understand what to do with this universe of data in order to create repositories and services that are really able to provide actions for prevent risks on cultural heritage. Among the actions that I mentioned before, and among the different initiatives that are, let's say, at a worldwide scale ongoing, the common need is to find a methodology that is able to collect some data that we can define as static data, to be collected together with other data that can be defined as dynamic data. Of course, static data are related to material, geometrical features, structural elements, and all the tangible aspects of the cultural heritage, while the so-called dynamic data are related to previous restoration or the need to set up future conservation action and restoration, or related to all the immaterial and intangible dimensions related to cultural heritage, are related to the use of heritage sites, and so on. And the common vision is the need to share this knowledge to be able to create awareness in order to go a step forward the state of the art in creating tools for decision support and to create knowledge system really effective. This short schema is one of the outcome of an initiative related to the risk assessment of cultural heritage that it's called After the Damages International Academy, that was funded by the Emilia-Romagna region in 2019 after the experience of the earthquake that affected Emilia in 2012, creating this very large, let's say, community of experts and scholars with the mission to have a permanent body, permanent organization facing the evolution in the state of the art of the issues related to damages. Another outcome from this experience that I think that well summarize what is happening today in terms of state of the art is related to once again to the need for collecting data, but also to structure this data in order to be able to use information collected, retrieved, and aggregated. The 3D information modeling is something that it's once again at the forefront of the innovation, and it's at the center of different kind of advancement and research experimentation. But at the end of the day, what is really needed is to go a step forward the state of the art in order to understand how to collect also the dynamic data and the dynamic needs for fruition, because we know very well that of course the knowing heritage is the first step, but the evolution of what can happen on a cultural heritage building or site is something that we need somehow to guide in order to have the right tools for decision-making support. So, what is doing Artemis in order to face all these issues and these challenges? What the project is doing in order to go a step forward the state of the art? You can see here the key components of the project, summarizing the main areas of innovation that are related to the integrated data management in order to face the previously highlighted need for the retrieval of archive resources, the need for advanced visualization and simulation in order to create the right basis for virtual restoration experiments, and in order to test and simulate possible actions on cultural heritage in a virtual dimension before working at operational level on the material of cultural heritage. And of course, the development of the reactive heritage digital twin technologies in order to create the possibility for simulation for preventive conservation and monitoring in order to mitigate possible actions from hazards or climate change disasters. So the main capabilities that the project is working on, facing specifically what is related to the heritage at risk, is somehow a way to create automatic activation and detection in order to create the base for preventive measures, starting from automatic risk assessment in order to face the main possible risks that can affect cultural heritage, and basing all these actions on forecast models and real-time sensor data. So, just to conclude this presentation, we can say that what Artemis is doing in the directions of the main tools and systems starts from a knowledge base. So once again, we need to focus on the understanding cultural heritage and to the need to structure heritage knowledge base in order to be used as the founding condition for solving data fragmentation issues, to connect heritage data that very often are sparse and scattered across multiple repositories and databases, and to work in the direction of aggregating and linking heritage-related historical, cultural, and scientific data. So, key features of the reactive heritage digital twins are the continuously updated using of sensor data and real-time simulation, the need to create predictive heritage conservation for analysis over time using this dynamic data input, simulating intervention for safe conservation and restoration, testing for plan and evaluation of possible outcomes before working directly on heritage materials, and providing insight for heritage enhancement and impact evaluation by cultural heritage policy makers. So this was the conclusion. I really hope it was a useful video, and thank you very much for listening.